And time to go live to the Royal Albert Hall for today's prom. It's presented by Christopher Cook.
The story continues. Almost exactly 1 year after we left Brünnhilde, asleep on her rock here in the Albert Hall, she'll be woken and warmed into love by the hero Siegfried. In tonight's prom, Christoph Eschenbach conducts the Orchestre de Paris in a concert performance of Wagner's opera Siegfried.
I mean, Siegfried actually sticks out as it is, so to say, the scherzo of the four pieces. If you think it's a sonata, it's a scherzo. And what's so inspiring with it and so fresh is that he takes all his leitmotif and uses them, but he uses them totally different. Sometimes in a really perverse almost way to characterize this young, still young fool, Siegfried.
This afternoon's conductor, Christoph Eschenbach. Siegfried is the third of the four music dramas that make up Richard Wagner's mighty cycle, The Ring of the Nibelung. Four music dramas that weigh the claims of love and power, a work that encompasses the beginning and the end of the world and dreams of a better future. When Wagner began to work on the score of Siegfried in 1857, he was a political exile living in Switzerland, and his chances of getting The Ring of the Nibelung onto the stage seemed pretty slim. It's a work that lasts over 14 hours in the theatre and asks for the impossible. Gods and giants, a woodbird and a dragon, dwarfs, water sprites, and only then human beings. Indeed, when Wagner reached the end of the second act of Siegfried, he decided to leave his hero under a lime tree in the forest and write something more modest that might make him some money. That modest offering was Tristan and Isolde. Moderation was not something that much appealed to Richard Wagner. And it would be 12 years before the composer rescued his hero from under that lime tree and united him with Brünnhilde asleep on her rock. By then, an awful lot of water had flowed down the Rhine. Wotan, chief of the gods, is desperate to rescue the all-powerful ring that Alberich, the Nibelung dwarf, forged from the Rhine-gold. Wotan has been forced to sacrifice his son Sigmund and to banish his favourite daughter Brünnhilde from Valhalla. Brünnhilde's sin, supporting Sigmund and taking his wife and sister Sieglinde under her wing. Fast forward nearly 20 years and we arrive at Siegfried the hero, the son of Sigmund and Sieglinde, who's being brought up by the dwarf Mime deep in the forest. It's a dark world, morally and musically. The opening prelude is full of foreboding, ominous drum beats as Mime, sung tonight by the tenor Volker Vogel, ponders the future. It's not kindness that moves Mime, but a lust for power. There's a sound of forging in the orchestra. If only Mime can make a new weapon from the shattered fragments of Notung, that's the powerful sword that Wotan had given Sigmund, then maybe Siegfried, his son, will kill the dragon Fafner, who's inherited the ring, and power and dominion will be Mime's. With a bang and a crash, Siegfried, that's the tenor, Jon Fredric West, making his Proms debut, bursts into Mime's cave with a bear, another of Wagner's more ambitious bits of stage business. Is the sword forged, he demands. He slams the botched weapon down and it shatters into splinters. Now he demands to know about his parents. He's seen his reflection in the streams of the forest, and he doesn't look anything like the hideous Mime. The dwarf looks shifty, tries to lie, and then in a wheedling voice tells him how he alone brought up the orphan. Full of fury, Siegfried runs out. As Mime broods, the orchestra announces a visitor. It's the Wanderer, Wotan in disguise, and sung by the Russian baritone Evgeny Nikitin. Applause there for Philippe Aish, who is the leader of the Orchestre de Paris this afternoon. Wotan the Wanderer suggests that he and Mime play a game of riddles, 3 questions each. All is going well for the dwarf, but he falls at the final hurdle. He cannot answer the only question that really matters to him: who will reforge Notung? With a laugh that echoes off into the forest, Wotan departs, leaving Mime in a panic, hallucinating about what may happen to him. Siegfried is back, and with another question. What is fear? He's never felt it, and here's Mime cowering on the floor. The dwarf conjures up a truly terrifying image of the dragon Fafner in his lair, but Siegfried is unmoved. Impatiently he starts to work on making Notung for himself. The fire is bellowed into life, the steel made molten, a mould filled, and the metal hammered into shape and sharpened. And there's a small anvil here, awaiting for tonight's Siegfried on the stage at the Royal Albert Hall. Mime is now in high spirits, busy preparing a picnic with a poisoned broth as its main dish. Siegfried will kill the dragon and rescue the ring, and the broth will put him to sleep forever, and Mime will be lord of the world. The sword is done. With a mighty blow, Siegfried splits the anvil, and in most productions the cave comes tumbling down with the curtain. Act 1 of Richard Wagner's Siegfried, with Jon Fredric West as Siegfried. Evgeny Nikitin sings The Wanderer, and Volker Vogel is Mime. The Orchestre de Paris is conducted by Christoph Eschenbach.